Hey developers, welcome back to Full Stack Advanced. In this tutorial, we're building a stunning image slider from scratch using React.js, CSS, and React Icon. In this project, you will learn to use useState to track the slide changes. You will learn to style your slider with CSS, and also you will learn to add React icons from the React Icons library. So for this project, we're not using any third-party slider plugin, just pure React and modern CSS styling. And by the end of this tutorial, you will have a reusable slider that you can drop in your project, whether it's a portfolio project or an e-commerce project. This is something that you can add to your project when you're building one. Okay, so basically this is what we're doing. This is the background, this is the images, and we have left and the right icon. So if we click on this now, you can see that the image has changed. If you click on this has changed as well. So this is basically what we're building. Now let's get started. So the first thing is to open your code editor. I'll be using Visual Studio Code. Then navigate to the terminal. We're going to be creating our project folder in our terminal. I'll be using this bash for my terminal. Then right here, you're going to change directory to your desktop. I have a folder where I'm creating the 30 days of code. So I'm just going to navigate to this. Change directory to 30 days code. Now we're going to create our React app. npm create vit at latest image slider hyphen templates React. Then press enter. Ensure you're connected to the internet. Okay, so now we're going to follow this step. Let me expand this. We're going to change directory to the project folder, then we'll run npm install. So change directory to image slider. Then we install React dependencies, npm install. Press enter as well. Now that we've installed, you're going to type in code space then full stop. Press enter. This is going to open your React project in a new window in VS Code. Okay, so I'm going to close this, then I'm going to expand this. Okay, so now we have our project folder open in VS Code. Now we're going to navigate to terminal again. We have our source folder app.css, app.jsx. Okay, I'm using this bash. Now let's start our server. npm run dev. Okay, click on follow link, and here we have the default React app. The counter is working, every other thing is working. We'll come back here and try to make a change to see if that is going to work. I'm going to change this to subscribe to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe to my channel. Let's see. Okay, we have it here. Subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. Now the next thing we need to do now is to clean up our default React app so that we can build our own preferred React app. So right here, Ctrl A, we're going to delete the entire thing. Ctrl A then backspace. Now we're going to run refc, which is a shortcut to create React snippets. Then you press enter. To use this shortcut, you need to have this extension, EX7 React Redux React Native extension. Please do well to install the extension. Back to our code, I'm going to delete app.css as well. Then our index.css also, Ctrl A. For our entire project, we'll set the margin to 0, the padding to 0 as well. Then we'll have box sizing, border box. Okay, so this is for our index.css. Now, in our source folder, we're going to create a folder, our image slider folder. In the image slider folder, we're going to create two files, the GSX and the CSS file. So image slider.gsx. Before I press enter, I'm going to copy this image slider. Okay, then press enter. Here as well, I'll just paste what I just copied, .css. So for the image slider, refc as well, to create React snippets, you can see that's created a snippet for us because we have the extension that I showed earlier. And we're going to mount, if we check now, the only thing we should have here is app. I'm going to mount the image slider here. Image slider right here. So we should see image slider here. Now the next thing is to get the images and also to install React icons. So right here, we'll start by installing React icons. Okay, so if you're on this website, npmjs.com/package/react-icons, Then you come over here, click on the installation code and copy it, and then you paste it in your terminal. So you can open a new terminal for that, or you just stop your. Okay, so this is it, React icon. While this is installing, we need to get the images. So these are the images that we're using for this project. So I'm just going to copy the 4 images and paste it in the asset folder. Okay, so we have installed React icons. If you come right here and you check package lock.json, you can see it right here, the React icon has been installed. Okay, now we're good to go. We have our images and we have installed React icon. Right. So I'm going to close the app.jsx. And the first thing that we're going to do right here is to create an array that is going to hold our images. So here, array to hold images, const images. We're going to have the first one, test1, test2, test3, test4. And we're here to import all of those images. So I'm just going to import, the name is test1 from /asset/test1.jpg. Okay, it has the same name with this. You have to use the name here. This is just the name that I gave it in this component. Okay, so I'm going to copy it right here, and I'm going to paste it 3 times. So I'm just going to change this to 2. I'll change this as well to 2 so that it will have access to this particular image. I'm going to change this to 3, change this to 3 as well, change this to 4, and change this to 4 as well. Okay, so now we have all of our images. Then the next step now is to create 2 functions. The first function is the function that would make when we click on the arrow, the next image will be displayed. And the second function will be to display the previous image if we click on the left arrow. So first off, we need to create a state variable that is going to track the current image, the index of the current image, and a setter function to update the state variable holding and tracking the index of the current image. So here we're going to have const current index, comma, set current index would be equal to, and by default we're going to initialize it with 0. Okay, so ensure that useState is imported right here as well. I'm going to close my terminal now. Now to the function. We'll start by creating the first function, which is the function to go to the next slide. So I'm going to name the function next slider. It's going to be an arrow function. So first we need to update the current state using the previous index. So we're going to use the setter function, set current state, set current index. We'll pass previous index right here. Then we use the ternary operator to check. If the current index is the last image in the array, then it should go to the first image, which is index 0. Otherwise, we want to move to the next image. So we're going to do this. If current index matches with images dot length -1, let me close this as well. Use an ternary operator. It should go to the first image which has index of 1, or it should move to the next slide. So the previous index plus 1. Okay, so this is the function to go to the next image. Now we're going to create the second function, which will lead to the previous image. So const, I'm going to name it previous slider, will be equal to, we'll do the same thing, update the current index, set current index, and we'll pass previous index. And we're still going to check if the current index is the first image in the array, it should go to the last image in the array. Otherwise, it should move one step back. So we're going to have previous index, if it's images dot length -1, then you should go to the last images dot length. Otherwise, it should move one step back. So that's previous index -1. Okay, so we have the two functions that we need for this project. Now, the next thing is to design our UI, which is what our user is going to see. The user is obviously not going to see everything we've written so far. Now, I'm going to create a div tag with a class name of slider container, slide container, and we'll have another div tag, slide. In that div tag, we'll have an image, and we're going to have two buttons for the left and right. So, button with class name of arrow, two buttons, the left and the right button. So let me add a spacing to that. Now, for our image, we're going to use a curly braces. We'll call the images, which is what we have created here, the array to old image. We're calling the array, and then we're going to pass current index. Okay, I'm going to give the image a class name as well, slide image. Then for our button will be represented by an icon. The two buttons will be represented by an icon. Okay, so we need to distinguish between the left and the right button. So here, arrow, then space, left, and this will be for right. Okay. Now for the button, we're going to use the first one, we'll take the left button. So I'm just going to type in arrow. Let's see if this will work now. Okay, so it's working. Because we have installed React icon, if you type in a particular word that matches an icon, it's going to display it for you. So you can just select whichever icon you want to use. So I want arrow left. Okay, so we have it right here. I'm going to be using this one. And right here, it has been imported. Okay, so this button will be represented by the arrow left. And the second button will be arrow right. I'm just going to type it in, and React is going to suggest list of icon that matches this keyword. Okay, so I'm using this as well, arrow right. Now for each of these buttons, we want to ensure that once our user click on the button that is moving left, which is the left button, we want to call the previous slide function. If the user clicks on the button for the next slide, we're going to call the next slide function. So right here, we'll use an on-click because obviously the user is going to click. We'll call the previous slide function. Right here, previous slider. Okay, and for the one going right, on click, we're going to call our next slider function. So we have these two functions right here. So right now, this is what we have. We have these images. If I click on this, you can see we have the next image. If I click on this, we have the next image. If I click on this, okay, so this is working perfectly well. Now let's style. So right here, we're going to import our CSS file into our JSX file so that we can style quotes./slider image slider .css. And then we're going to start by styling each of this. We'll style the slider container. I'll copy this, paste it here, dots, because we're styling a div tag. Display here would be flex. Justify content, center. Align items at the center. Height of 100 VH. And we'll have a background color of this color code. Then we have the slide. I'll copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. For this, we're going to have position, relative, then the width will be 80%. We'll set the max width to 800 pixels. Overflow, hidden. And we'll have a box shadow as well of this value, 15 pixels, 30 pixels, RGBA. I'm going to use this color. Next is our slide image. We're going to set the width to 100%, the height to 500 pixels, display would be block, and we'll have a transition or 0.5 seconds is in outs, and we'll have a border radius as well of 1 rem. Then we'll style the arrow itself, the class name arrow. Position, we're going to set this to absolute. We'll set the top of 50%. Transform, translate, minus 50% on y-axis. The background color, we'll take this color code black. We'll set the border to none. We'll set the font size to 1.8 rem. Padding of 0.6 rem for the width and height. Then we'll have cursor, pointer, border radius. We'll take 50%. And the icon color, we'll take white. Then we'll have a Z index of 10. And then transition as well. We're going to apply transition to this as well. All 0.3 seconds is. Now if you hover on the arrow, dot arrow over, transform, translate on y-axis minus 50% as well. Then we're going to increase the size, scale 1.1. Now for the left and the right, we're going to style each of them, dot arrow, dot left. On the left side, it should be 20 pixels from the left of where it is. And then on the right, dot arrow, dot right. Right should be 20 pixels as well. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, so this is what we have now. Okay, everything is working perfectly well. You can go to the next. So this is the end of it, guys. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share with people, and also drop a comment. See you on the next one. Thank you.